All right, everybody. Good morning. We have made it to yet another weekend here, and it is a weekend we are going into with something having actually happened in the world of the Seattle Seahawks. This happened yesterday afternoon. I decided to not make a video about it right then because it's not like this is something earth-shattering. It's not like this is something that everybody needs to freak out about. This was going to happen. This was always inevitably going to happen. I do think it's interesting that it's happening now and not happening later like it did for us last year, but it was always going to happen. It's not like in the modern NFL you're going to see a rookie player just decide, you know what? I did all this work. I got drafted, but I'm not actually going to sign with the team that drafted me. I want to go sell cars. That's not something you would ever expect to see happen. So yesterday afternoon, the Seahawks inked their final rookie draft pick. It was Michael Jarrell. And I say final because first, he was our final draft pick in that draft, and also because everyone else had signed. So as of yesterday afternoon, Michael Jarrell has completed the rookie draft pick contracts. So looking pretty good. Pretty happy about that. No drama this year. Last year we had the Devin Witherspoon drama where he actually missed camp because he wasn't happy with his contract, which that was alarming because that almost never happens in the modern NFL. And there was definitely a moment where most Seahawks fans at least thought for a couple of seconds, what are we getting into here? How is this rookie convinced that he should get something that other Seahawks rookies over the last, well, really you could say decade plus, because that's when that's when they installed the rookie scaling in the CBA. That he's doing something that none of them ever did. So that was stressful, and that definitely I remember very clearly. People in my comments, people in the Discord, people on X, kind of freaking out about it a little bit because they were like, wait a minute, what did we get involved in? A lot of people didn't really like him that much anyway. Now, a year later, we're in a very different place because he played so well last year, but we don't have to deal with that this year. All the rookies are signed. Doesn't seem like there was any kind of drama as it regards to signing bonus, because that's really the only drama that can exist. So we're good to go. We are good to go, and I'm pretty happy about that. We got OTAs coming up in a few days. Now, with this signing, we now have theoretically a full picture of the Seahawks salary cap situation. So I'm going to bump over to Spotrac here. I still hate the new layout, but we're going to go ahead and use Spotrac here for a little bit. And they have almost everything here. If we scroll down here, they are lagging just a little bit behind on the Jarrell contract. They don't have it yet. But at the same time, we know basically what it is going to be, right? We can take a look at, let's see here. Who should we look at here? We could look at somebody like Lomia, the guard we picked in the 6th round, whose cap hit this year is going to be 850,000 approximately. Well, we know that Jarrell was a pick slightly lower than Lomia, so he's going to get slightly less, but roughly the same basic idea. And it's not going to be a particularly significant change to the cap situation. So, first of all, note that this list now goes to 90. So we have our full 90-man roster for training camp, which is what you need. You need 90 guys to have a training camp. Well, I guess you don't need, but that's how high you can go. And obviously, most of these guys will never make the team. Their odds of making the team are like 2%. A guy like Buda Jones or Nathan Pickering or Kobe Lewis or Carlton Johnson, they are long shots. And I think we all understand that. I think we all get that. So most of these guys near the bottom of the list, their cap hits do not matter to us. Some of them do, but we don't know which ones yet. Now, 53 guys actually make a roster. So what Spotrac does is they take the top 51. So they look at the top 51 and break down how much cap space does the team have if they only account for their top 51. I don't know why they don't go 53, but they do 51. And you can see that taking into account just the top 51, the Seahawks are in the red by about $250,000, which is last in the league. So that's a thing, right? Because let's take a look at this. Let's think about this for a second here. First of all, not every player on this top 53 is going to be the one who actually makes the team, right? Like, for instance, we have where is he? We have a guy like a Nehemiah Pritchett at 64, but we used a 5th round pick on him. He's going to make the team almost certainly. So Pritchett will elevate above somebody else on this list to make the active roster. Like maybe somebody like an Artie Burns goes and gets replaced. Tremaine Ankrum. I don't think Tremaine Ankrum is going to make this team at this point. You got a guy like Eskridge. He might be gone this offseason at some point. So that's going to save a little bit of money because you're going to have cheaper guys come up and replace the more expensive guys. However, when you release a guy who has signing bonus money, which is depicted in this column right here, this middle column, you still have to pay them their bonus money, right? So let's say, just as an example, we let go of Sundiata Anderson. We still have to pay him $110,000. That was his bonus. That's his. That's all on him. So he's getting paid a little bit of money regardless. Now, $110,000 is not hugely significant for the cap, of course, but it counts against the cap. And that also goes for players that make the practice squad. In order to make the practice squad, you have to get released. And when you get released, you get your bonus money. So a guy like Easton Gibbs, when he gets released, because I do heavily suspect he'll get released, we owe him $40,000. D. Williams, we owe him $125,000. Jack Westover gets $75,000. And if you added up all the money that the Cuts are going to make from their signing bonus, if you were to put it all together, you would probably come up with a little more than $1 million. We don't know exactly who's going to get cut yet, but most of these guys in this part of the list right here are making bonus. So they're going to get something, and that's going to come out of the cap. And also keep in mind that a practice squad in the NFL costs about $3 million, and that comes out of the cap as well. And then you have to keep in mind that most teams like to have a little bit of buffer room when the season starts for trades and injuries. Now, we don't have to do that. Maybe this will be a year we don't have it. But I have a feeling that we're going to want to. So you put it all together, and again, I don't have an exact number here, and an exact number would be kind of pointless when we don't know who we're going to actually let go when this 53-man roster shakes out in August and September. I think it's very clear that we still need about, I'm going to say, $6 million in additional cap space. I think that's the minimum, right? Because you need the practice squad, and then you need to account for the bonus money you're going to lose when you cut a lot of the guys. And also, again, this is only top 51. We're going to carry 53. So we've talked about this before. There are places you can cut. You can restructure some contracts. You can restructure Geno or Metcalf, but that comes with a cost. You could restructure Draymond Jones, but you really don't want to have to do that, I think. I think that would be very much ill-advised. You could restructure somebody like a potentially Uchenna Nwosu, but again, he's got 3 years left on his deal. You don't really want to be doing that yet. You could restructure Myers. You could extend some people and maybe spread the cap hit out over multiple years. But there aren't that many great candidates for that. There's Geno and Metcalf, really, and Lockett, but you don't want to extend Lockett. Not at this point. Everything's set up for this to be his last year. I think we should honor that and roll with that. So I don't know exactly what the move is going to be. I've talked for a while that Darrell Taylor is probably on the chopping block. You only owe him $20,000 if you let him go. So you cut Darrell Taylor and you free up about 3.1 milli, and that's going to get you about halfway there. And then John Radigan, you let him go. That gets you all the way there at that point. So maybe that's the solution. Taylor and Radigan hit the bricks. Maybe you bring Radigan back for $1 million. So just trying to understand exactly where the savings can come from. There are definitely places you can let Eskridge go, by the way, that saves $1 million. Maybe you trade somebody like a Trey Brown because of the logjam at cornerback, and that saves about $1 million. There are definitely options, but understand that I don't have anything super concrete and clear, because some of these things are going to be somewhat committing. Like extending Geno would be committing. Extending DK would be committing. Maybe this team doesn't want to commit to those guys, and they're going to look under different rocks until those guys show what they're going to do in 2024. All right, so that's basically a rundown of the cap stuff. Again, I don't have exact numbers. I don't think it would be a good use of time to come up with exact numbers. The point is, there remain a few moves to make. Got to do something here. It could be really simple. It could be just as simple as telling Taylor and Radigan, thanks, but we were going in a different direction. And that gets you pretty much all the way there. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. Good to have all the rookies on board. Feels good. Like it. And, yeah. See you guys later. We are going to do more rookie evals later, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about this first.